Owners of Canadian art have discovered that their art has appreciated significantly in value over recent years. So if you have a piece of art that was inherited or you picked up at a flea market and you'd like to know its actual value, the team of Cowley Abbott will be touring 12 Canadian cities in search of valuable art. Rob Cowley's here with us. He's a Canadian art specialist and a president at Cowley Abbott. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Paul. Nice to be here.
What has happened to the value of important Canadian art over the past 5 years?
It's certainly grown. When COVID hit in 2020, we expected there could have been a correction in our market. However, it grew, not only in terms of people reconnecting with their passion for collecting, bringing more buyers to the market, but it also meant that a lot of individuals decided to part with art to buy other art, which meant we were being fed great work of rarity and importance. And so that's driven the market in the past 5 years.
Are there what we call macro considerations that can affect the art market? Growth in a robust economy, for instance, growth in gross domestic product, a robust employment market, or a robust stock market, are these things that can affect the value of art?
They can. I mean, certainly confidence in the markets overall can certainly affect collector behavior. But we also found in the past 5 years, when there's been upheaval in those markets, we've actually had many collectors that have found comfort in the art market, deciding to invest in that area, not always instead of other markets, but also just to complement the other markets.
Do you serve collectors of art or investors of art? I would take an investor to be somebody who buys art, keeps it for a while, and then sells it.
We serve both, and really there's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of collectors that, you hope the collectors are collecting with passion and interest in mind first, but while also taking into account investment. But certainly we serve all types of collectors.
Okay, in the studio we have several pieces of art and we can put prices on those. I'm going to shuffle my papers here. Let's look first of all at, and I think viewers will remember many of these, recognize many of these names. This is William Kurelek, farm scene with 2 horses going to feed and rope. It's a mixed media composition. You and your colleagues believe this could sell for between $100,000 and $120,000 later this spring.
Absolutely. Kurelek is a very popular artist, a prairies painter. He tells the story a lot of times of life on the farm in Western Canada. His market has grown substantially over the last 20 years. His work is housed in major public collections. We sold a major work by him for close to $500,000 just in the last 10 years, and his prices remain very strong. Just recently, actually, we sold a very small work by him that was a gift to his babysitter on our wedding day. It sold for 20 times its auction estimate, over $200,000 when it was estimated at $10,000 to $15,000. So certainly an artist to watch.
Wow. When I go to a Canadian art gallery, one of my favorites is David Milne, and I can tell his stuff from across the gallery because it's so distinctive, his style and his colors. Here's a watercolor, green and brown, Boston Corners, 1917. Auction estimate here as much as $80,000.
Yeah, so this will be included in our major spring auction on May the 28th. Between $60,000 and $80,000, as you said, Paul. These works by David Milne, these works on paper, this is kind of the prime period and also this location of New York. Those tend to be of greatest interest to collectors. We've routinely exceeded expectation on works such as these. We expect the same for this fantastic work. It comes to us from Western Canada.
Kurelek and Milne are very recognized names. How often does their work become available? Fairly
often. They're both prolific painters. What you find, though, certainly is that the market will respond when quality and rarity are in play. We sold a canvas by David Milne for over $700,000 in the last 5 years, 3 times its estimate. And so while they're both very prolific, there's also a great deal of interest in their work.
Okay. Maud Lewis was a Canadian folk artist from Nova Scotia. Here's one I think that reflects those origins in that part of the country. Maud Lewis, 2 Fishermen. This is mixed media on beaver board. Auction estimate here as much as $30,000. And this one came to you, I gather, from a family in that part of Canada.
Yep, absolutely. Eastern Canadian family. Maud Lewis's market has grown dramatically in the past 10 years, certainly since the movie was released in 2016. The works, when I started in the industry, were selling for under $10,000. They've now sold for 6 figures. We routinely exceed $50,000 for her work, so a great deal of interest. We expect, this is an earlier work by Maud Lewis. We expect that we could very well exceed expectation on the 28th of May.
So how big is then the potential buying audience for a piece of art priced at $30,000? That's a significant amount of money, but it's, the viewers of this station are investors. Many of them are older. They've saved and invested for a long time. Almost all of them would have $30,000 in disposable cash. So how big is the potential buying pool for a piece of art like that?
Quite large, you find. And that was one of the aspects why Maud Lewis's market grew so dramatically when the movie came out, is that her artwork was reachable in terms of value. You know, they're valued at between $10,000 and $20,000, and the excitement around her market just drove those values far beyond. But yes, to answer your question, a very wide selection of collectors.
Okay. Next up, Daphne Odjig, A Phenomena of Life, 1980. This looks like a piece of Aboriginal art. You'll do a better job of me than describing it. There it is. It's acrylic on canvas.
Indigenous work of art, one of Canada's most celebrated Indigenous painters, Daphne Odjig. It's a 1980 canvas by the artist. That's actually available for private sale. That's one aspect of our business as well that's grown over the last 10 years. And so with Peter Roller, with our firm. And so this work, I believe we're selling around $25,000 privately.
Okay. And let's finish it with Cornelis Krieghoff, going way back to 1859. So this is called Ice on the Bridge Longoy, 1859. One of my questions here is how much does age add to the value of a piece of art? This is an old one.
It is an old one, almost 200 years old. Krieghoff's work has always been central to the interest in Canadian art in Canada, going back decades. Most recently, we sold a work for close to $500,000. And this work in that range.
Thanks to Rob Cowley. He's